Oh, how the turns have tabled. We knew nothing from that fans forum, and the chairman of Sheffield Wednesday has just released a lengthy statement about the departure of Darren Moore. I must say, I've got to respect this. He has cleared up the situation with Darren Moore from his side. Previously, he said that he wouldn't be releasing any statement out of respect to Darren, but obviously that caused a load of speculations in the general media. I know, obviously, us podcast types, we would talk about it because we want to know what's happening at the football club. So he's decided to clear the air and say what happened exactly with Darren Moore. I'm going to read directly from the Wednesday website. So this reads as a direct statement from Chancery. Quote, following the Q&A I conducted last week, speculation has continued in the local and national media, which is first and foremost incorrect but also damaging to our club. The speculation has now gone too far, with some people putting out completely misleading information. I now wish to put the record straight and hope this will draw a line beneath Darren's departure and we can look forwards to the new appointment of a new manager in the new season. Interesting that we would talk about the damage of our club. I guess it is there. If you're going to leave room to speculate, people are going to speculate. Initially, I said I would help Darren silently. I offered not to talk and Darren agreed. Since I have been here, I have always looked to protect my people, unless I have no choice. If this speculation was just local, then fine. I know people will come to me. But when it goes wider from some who do not understand the situation, then that is different and I have to act. Now, over a week later, the speculation continues. People who do not have the correct information are saying things completely wrong in the media. I am not worried about myself, but when this speculation damages our club, I have to explain the truth. And if Darren wishes to say something publicly, then I would welcome that. I don't count as media, do I? I don't think so. So, I decided to speak to Darren last Sunday night, 25th of June, about this situation. I said I had helped him a lot, but you must understand I need to tell the whole story. You could speak yourself, or we could talk together, but I did not expect that to happen, so I am releasing this statement today to end the speculation. After the end of the season, we had achieved promotion, and as far as I was concerned, there was no issue. We completed the retain list on Thursday the 1st of June and began discussing the recruitment of new players. The targets identified for the championship, and I asked Darren to summarise and present. We arranged to talk the following week in order to prepare the final information and begin coordinating the process. Now, this makes sense because we were talking about, well, Darren seemed like nothing was going to happen because he was speaking to TalkSport about recruitment and what Wednesday have to do in this window, ahead of the new transfer window, which is why this was shocking here. So, reading this statement so far, Chancery was also on that page, and Darren Moore, there was going to be nothing wrong. Everybody was setting up for the season as normal. Back into the statement that says, Darren went on holiday and we spoke again during his holiday. We talked more about the recruitment of players. Then Darren mentioned the contracts of his coaching team, which expired at the end of June. I asked Darren to send me his proposals for them because I was happy to talk. He then mentioned his own contract, which I said was automatically active following our promotion. But I said I was happy to discuss a new contract and asked Darren to send me the details and his proposals so I can study them. After a few days, he sent me proposals for his contract, and I asked Darren to rethink and said, are you sure? I asked him if this proposal was instigated by his agent, and Darren told me it was a guideline. I asked Darren if he wanted an answer, yes or no, or can we talk again? Darren said it was a guideline and that he would think about the details again. I just want to mention really quickly before we move on, so obviously this is a disagreement on contract. The coaching staff thing, it's something we wondered about, and Darren Moore is very loyal to his coaching staff, so I am not actually surprised that would be a sticking point because he'd have probably wanted contracts for his whole coaching team sorted and better terms. I could see that being a thing because he's very loyal to his staff. We arranged to meet face-to-face in my office on Wednesday the 14th of June. We talked some more about the players and Darren asked about the contracts of his coaching staff. I said we needed Darren to resolve his own situation first. While ever this was an issue, we could not talk further about his staff. I said we need a conclusion before Thursday, as we could not take too long when we needed to begin the recruitment process. Even if we could not agree, this is the football business. But we would still maintain friendly relations with each other. But we need to resolve this situation. I told Darren I was happy for him to stay. He achieved promotion and deserved a chance in the championship. I said I was happy to increase his salary and add more bonuses into the contract, with the highest bonus if we reach the Premier League. But the proposal Darren presented was significantly in excess of his contract, and I said I cannot offer a minimum of 4 times your current salary on a 3-year contract. I have to be realistic and protect the club. There you go. There's a lot more to read from this statement, but there you go. Darren Moore, if we're going to believe what Chansiri said, wanted improved terms that were a minimum of 4 times his current deal on a 3-year deal. 4 times his salary on a 3-year deal. I think he could have probably got away with it if it wasn't for the length of the contract. Now, that is a big ask. That is a big ask, because you never know how football's going to go. So the more I'm reading this, the more I'm going, I love Darren Moore. I thought he did fantastically well. But you read this and you go, well, if this is true and you want 4 times your salary on a 3-year contract, you know what you're doing there. You know you might not have a great season and get sacked, and then the club ends up in a financial situation that it doesn't want to be in, because we've been there. Chansiri follows with, I advised Darren to rethink very carefully. Do you really think this is a good idea? I offered my full support during all his time at our club, and I wanted us to continue and succeed together. I asked him to think and let me know your decision by Thursday, because we are not getting anywhere here, other than back to the starting point. Darren said he would think about the details again. We met again on Thursday the 15th of June, and Darren told me that he could not accept. I said, okay, that is your decision, and I don't think it will be difficult for you to get another job. I said I would help Darren by announcing his departure via mutual consent, because that will help for the future. So yeah, that's the situation there. I think possibly he could have, given him a bit more time with that. It's a big decision with your manager, and he's sort of very blasé on, oh, well, it's the football business there. But as he previously laid out in his statement, he wanted to get it done so we could start the recruitment process and have a pre-season in there and get things sorted. I know it's kind of contradictory when you end up losing the manager and then you do have to wait anyway because you're bringing a new manager in, but this has not been the first time we do it. If you think about Massimo Luongo, I know it's a smaller situation, but we offered him a contract and he was taking his time with it, and the club wanted to move. And Darren Moore was part of that. We wanted to move. We wanted to get things done and not let things drag out and end up in an unfortunate situation. So I do understand that side of it. Potentially could have had a little bit more time to give him there, and considering the situation we're in now, maybe it was a little bit rash, but that's going to be a talking point itself. I was fully aware the fans would believe this is my issue, but for Darren, there would only be good things because he achieved promotion. But I was happy to take that on my shoulders to help. I said I would not talk too much, only if I was left with no choice. And this is obviously the part where he's got no choice, he feels. I told Darren we had to announce his departure on the Thursday, the same day, which would allow me to begin the recruitment of a new manager. He asked for Monday 19th of June, but I was not keen on that date because the players would be coming back to pre-season training soon, and I needed to resolve. Finally, though, I agreed to his request to announce on the Monday. In the meantime, we still had good relations. We had dinner together on Saturday the 17th of June, and personally in my heart, I was hoping he would have a change of heart, but unfortunately, nothing changed. So when fans saw him out and about with Chansiri, it was already done. It was their goodbye date. This club is never lacking drama, is it? We spoke about players as if everything was normal, and Darren asked me if I would keep his coaching team at the club. But I said that would be difficult because if Darren took another role, he would need his team around him, and obviously then we would have a problem at our club. I said there was no chance I would retain Basso, and I would speak to the team, but when I recruited a new manager, he will wish to bring in his own staff. Normally, I like at least one member of the staff to work within the new team to help the transition process. So yeah, that's fair enough. You're going to lose it. Darren Moore will want his team in, and this way it also frees up a new management team to come in. That's typical football. We continue to talk about general matters over dinner, about the team, the players, and the championship. But the proposal remained the same, and we agreed a parting of the ways would be the best way forward, which we announced on Monday the 19th of June. So the story is over why Darren left our club. I wish him nothing but the best, and I hope he is appointed to a new position soon. Now these details have been made clear, I hope we can all move on and look forward to the next era for Sheffield Wednesday. The recruitment process for the new manager is well underway, and I wish to get back to normal as soon as possible. The appointment will not be rushed. It must be the right person and the right fit for our club, and the process continues. Who could it be? But that's not the point of this video. If this is true, it's money. And I hate that. I would lose a bit of respect for Darren Moore there because he knows what he's asking for. Some people might be on the side of, well, you should just give him a 3-year deal. But 4 times the salary, if that is true, it's a bit of a stretch. 4 times the salary, yes, maybe, but not that length of deal. Or less salary, 3-year deal. I'm sure he'd have gone for either of those. But Darren Moore was protected himself there. You could have the argument of that. I can't believe I'm saying this because I defended Darren Moore a lot from this particular argument last season, but the target was to win the league last year. We didn't achieve that, and then he's asking 4 times his salary. Yes, we still got promoted and that was the overall goal. But if you're going to be pedantic, is he asking too much there? I do want to just say that, again, this is just one side of it. I would very much like to put this to bed. And if Darren Moore wants to come out and say something to the contrary of this, that would be very interesting. But going off that, if it is because of money and not because of the recruitment and all the things that we have been hearing, so it's a case of, I think that's what Chansiri is referring to, the fact that Chansiri wasn't backing the manager. That probably offended him, in fairness. And that's why he's released this statement. If it is because of Darren Moore's salary and the disagreement there, I am a lot more understanding of this situation. I still think potentially give him a little bit more time to think on it. But then again, he did take him out for it. He took him out. He was hoping he'd reconsider. We needed to get the season going. The more I look at this, the more I think it's reasonable. You might think I'm being a little bit too kind on the owner there, but I would be really interested to know your opinion here. We need somebody who's looking out for the best interests of the club. If there's going to be a disagreement on money, this is possibly a beneficial thing for the club. Now we're going to probably have to spend that similar money to bring a manager in. That is probably the one oversight of it. But I think that's why you have to get a better manager than Darren Moore in then. Because who would be worth that money in Chansiri's eyes? Would it be somebody who's got better prospects, better context in the game maybe? I think that has to be the next logical step now, because he wasn't going to give that money to Darren Moore. He might not give that same level of money to another manager. He might be able to bring a new manager on a lesser deal of maybe a shorter contract, but for similar money. But he clearly has an amount of money that he wants to pay, and that is not 4 times the current salary of the manager. So from that side of it, I understand it. Keep this transparency coming from the club. We want to hear this. This would have all been avoided if he could have said more. I know he didn't at the time out of respect for Darren Moore. Darren Moore declined to comment. Here we go. This is the kind of information we need, because then we've got more of the picture. It might not be the whole picture, but it's a good look at it. But I want to know what you think in the comments. Was Darren Moore out of line asking for this? Do you believe what Chansiri is saying in the statement? All of that in the comments. And I will read it and chat to some of you, and I'm sure this will be discussed. Talking Wednesday podcast, all the likes of that. We will break all of this down because there is a lot of news going off at the minute. There might be a manager any minute. I don't know from the end of that statement with the recruitment process ongoing, but you would hope it wouldn't be too long now. Let me know what you think about this statement in the comments. But for now, guys, as always, thank you so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, do all those things, and keep watching right here on Dexterity Box.